The one thing that everyone can agree on is that Macron is very careful about his image. No detail is left to chance. Lots of Photoshop was used in this photo.
Genuinely, it's being picked apart and analysed like you would not believe.
Her hands forcefully smushing his face. He seems stunned.
He married his former high school teacher, 24 years his senior. She has 7 grandchildren and has been present in his political career.
We've got another book over here, which is by Madame de Staël. People have been reading into that as well. We won't go into all of that.
Yeah, let's not go into modern, traditional. I like it. Okay, a lot of
all of the contrasts.
It's like an old painting, isn't it? That you might find in the Louvre.
Jupiterian style of presidency, which is sort of basically monarchical.
Please do not send any hate or honestly comments of any kind to anyone mentioned in this video on behalf of me or yourself. The purpose of this video is to give my commentary and opinion on matters of public concern. Thank you.
So Candace Owens is going viral. Yes, she is getting sued by the president of France. You might have heard this somewhere else or from me. I did make 2 videos about it already on my other channel. One of them was a live stream. It was like 2 hours long. One of them was just a little video announcement. But since I made those videos, there has been a lot of back and forth. There has been a lot of disagreement, confusion, and tits for tats on both sides. Now, this is kind of understandable because it's pretty complex issues at play here. There's like an 8 or a 6-part series Candace put out. Then her series was also kind of based on someone else's several-part series, a journalist named Xavier Poussard. And then, you know, since then she's made many videos about it. So there's like a lot of things going on, lots of different allegations made different places, etc. So it's kind of hard to even grab the story by the tail. You don't really know what, you know, it's sprawling, as it were. And now that a lawsuit has been filed in the Delaware State Court by the, I mean, this is unprecedented in my memory. I don't know, maybe this happened before, but I don't remember in my lifetime the president of a country suing somebody from another country that's like making statements about them. And the statements being your wife is a man, among other things. In fact, was one of the alleged statements. Anyway, I'm not getting into all those allegations today. That is to just say that since that lawsuit was filed last week, 211 pages, there's been a lot going on and stuff's coming out daily. Like I said, it's kind of hard to grab the story. What's really going on? Is somebody a man? Are they not? Do I care? I mean, I already summed up my feelings about this situation in a previous video, personally. I don't really actually care at all if Brigitte Macron was born a man or a woman, because you want to know what I stopped caring at after, you know, I found out one thing and then I stopped caring about any damn thing other else? When I found out Brigitte Macron was a teacher of any gender at a school, that she met somebody as her student and decided to enter into a relationship with that person at any time ever. I'm just now learning that they actually pulled the kid out of school and put him somewhere else because they found out about this grotesque and detestable so-called relationship, which it makes me feel nasty to even call it that. Okay, so whether or not whatever gender is completely beyond the point as far as I'm concerned. Any private parts downstairs don't matter to me. If you did that, that's what I needed to know. Thank you. Like I said, I already kind of said what my feelings are on this issue. I don't really feel like getting into it too much right now, but I do want to zoom in. We'll say I want to zone in or zoom in, focus in on one very, very specific thing. I don't know, point that Candace pointed out that I do find particularly compelling. I mean, I find it to be particularly compelling. I'm hoping we can all agree. By the time we get to the end of this video on this one very specific point, I'm trying to bring us all together to agree on one thing, because there's a lot of rhetoric happening. I want to see if we can zoom it back in, focus it back in, and I promise you it doesn't come down there. It doesn't matter at all who's a man and who ain't. All right, buckle up. So this particular point relates to Emmanuel Macron's first presidential portrait. You know, whenever they become the president or whatever, you know, even when you get a new job or whatever, you take a little headshot. So this is his like official portrait, apparently. This is from Candace's video, and we will take a look at her clip because I want y'all to hear this actual specific thing that she said. We're going to look into some of her allegations, some of her points, some of her claims, and see if we can't get to the bottom of some of the stuff going on here. I don't know, maybe we won't. We'll see. So this point here relates to that presidential portrait from when Emmanuel Macron first became president of France in May 2017. Spoiler alert, it deals with books in the background of things. It's not the first time we dealt with something like that in France on this channel. Anyway, let's go to Candace's video. This is like, I guess for editing purposes, 1642. So let's see exactly what claim is made here about this specific allegation.
I should mention to you now, by the way, that Emmanuel Macron, who was at first inaugurated in May of 2017, had his presidential portrait done. Okay, that's it.
So what we're looking at here, somehow we'll highlight this, is not a widescreen. I don't know, maybe a widescreen version of this picture exists, but just, I mean, like it's framed by the flags. It's a nice picture, you know, from like pictures, how pictures are, is lit well, all that. But like, so what Candace is going to be focusing in on here are the limited few items that he has behind him on the desk. Among the things he has on the desk behind him appears to be about approximately 3 books. One is open on the left-hand side behind, or our left, I guess that would be his right. Then on the other side, we got Father Time, Clock, Saturn peeking out over here. Cronus, Lord Cronus peeking out.
You have a clock over here.
Yeah.
Now, he himself said that he is maître des horloges, the master of choosing the timing, essentially. This is all part of what he has termed in various interviews his Jupiterian style of presidency, which is sort of basically monarchical. I decide. The power resides with me.
And right in front of him, we got 2 to 3 books. But one of those books is at issue here. Listen to what Candace alleges and states.
And chose an interesting book to include in the background. A book by an author known as André Gide, a self-admitted pederast. Okay? Now, a pederast, if you are not familiar with that term, according to Merriam-Webster, is a man who engages in sexual activity with a young boy. Okay.
So there's some details got into here, but essentially this is somebody untoward who in a civilized society such as the United States of America would be considered like criminal types of behaviors were acted upon. I will allow Candace, to explain a little bit of it, but if you want to see the full allegations, I do invite you to go watch this full video on Candace's channel, Candace Owens, and it is called Becoming Brigitte. This is the introduction. It has an introduction around the 16-17 minutes.
If you're wondering, how does that differ from pedophilia? The answer is that pedophiles are adult men specifically who are into only little boys specifically. So it doesn't include girls. So André Gide was a self-admitted pedophile. He was into little boys.
All right, let's take a pause, okay? Collective pause. I think we can all agree that whoever that guy is, it's a no from me. If not, you found yourself on the wrong channel. Get out of here. That's just nasty. I'm self-admitted, I'm into this and acting upon it. Y'all, it gets worse. I don't know how much details we're going to keep in or not, but it's pretty bad.
Which book did Emmanuel Macron select for his portrait? A book from André Gide entitled The Fruits of the Earth in English, okay? In French, it's Les Nourritures Terrestres. Forgive my terrible pronunciation there.
Oh, girl, how do you say that? I thought Fruits of the Earth. I thought Earth was Le Mans. Oh, that's world. Earth and world is different. Terrestre. Nourriture. Les nourritures. Terrestre. I don't know, girl. They called it The Fruits of the Earth, the book.
So that's him. That's the book that he chose. If you're wondering what it's about, the book is about how you should flee your family, how you should flee rules. Gide's work was autobiographical in content, all right? And he was inspiring a younger generation of boys to flee tradition because he did that.
Okay, so far so good. Okay, he's a little on the road type, running. Well, not so far so good with the stuff. I mean, that's nasty, not that. But okay, well, he's writing autobiographical works about fleeing, being young and a boy, whatever. So far it doesn't sound too bad. Just wait. It's just buckle up. It's really about to go there.
He felt that he did that when, as an adult, he went to Algeria, which was then a French colony, to have sexual experiences with Muslim boys. In 1894, when he was 24 or 25, he traveled to North Africa. He met up with Oscar Wilde and Oscar Wilde's homosexual lover, Lord Alfred Davis. These are elites. Just to be clear, we're talking about elites. And then he came back to his country of France, and he felt that he had gone through a sexual awakening. He accepted his homosexuality, and he embraced his proclivities, saying no to the stifling conventions that told him that no, you shouldn't have and be attracted to little boys. Okay.
So it appears to me, if these allegations are true, which we're going to examine in moment, but it appears to me that if those allegations, what were just made, were true, the man is committing all kind of affronts, okay? He's committing all kinds of indecencies at the very least, including calling whatever in the hell it was he's doing with children the same thing as being homosexuality. That is not the same thing. And it's just, people got to stop just using any word to mean anything. But that is apparently what was alleged here. Now, to me, it's like the gender thing. You'll notice a theme with me. If it's a man or a woman that's an adult, or it's a girl or a boy that's the victim, it's not no different to me what the gender is. It's not. It doesn't. It's sickening no matter what. So these allegations seem pretty extreme. So I'm like, whoa, hold on. First things first, what in the hell is that book doing? What is that book doing? There's about, I don't know, 3 square feet of room to put anything at all for your picture. It's like your picture. I mean, people put thought into their senior picture for graduating high school of what's going to be on the shelf and what's going to be on the this, that. And he never denied. In fact, and indeed, Candace also shows that he apparently admitted that he was very inspired by this guy. I think she may end up talking about it in the next segment here.
Now, I'm actually familiar with Andre Gide because I was forced to read his book, The Immoralist, at university. And yes, it is about traveling to Algeria, and which obviously is autobiographical in content. He admitted that he did this, traveling to Algeria, and it is about having sex with Muslim little boys. That's what the book was about, okay? Now, in case you're thinking rationally, let's play both sides of this thing, right? Maybe Emmanuel Macron didn't know that the book was there. Maybe it was just some dumb assistant who grabbed it. Who knows why it would be in their Oval Office. But maybe it was just some assistant who grabbed it and put it there.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Nope. You'd be wrong if you're thinking that, so stop thinking that, okay? Emmanuel Macron has never hidden his affection for Andre Gide. He has spoken about it multiple times, okay? He even once gave an interview to a literary critic, Jerome Garcin, and Macron said this. He said, and I quote, "Gide shows me the path that leads from the cerebral to overflowing sensuality." Okay.
Oh, there's a video of him doing something? There's a video of him setting up the scene. Alert, alert, alert. That Surprise Witness BJ Investigates Headquarters Mothership Studios LLC team has found a clip. When is this from? Hold on. He's setting the scene. Oh, I love the little golden tea set. Oh my God, girl. Was he with that tea set on the train the other day whenever he was sniffing and snotting? Okay, what did he set there? His phone? He's flipping it open to the right page. Okay. All right. It's also showing, yes, I was right. A lot of thought goes into this. It's not an accident. And it reminds me of the Balenciaga. You don't get an accidental lawsuit printed out, buddy. No, somebody put it right there. Exhibit, A from another case. I don't know. I certainly wasn't there on that depraved set. From Gaul to Gide, the reference to this aspect of political memory is only one of the facets of French cultural unconscious Macron summons here. His communication team was quick to let everyone know that the open book was de Gaulle's war memoirs. Ew. Oh, while the two others were Stendhal's The Red and the Black, and Gide's Fruits of the Earth. The Red and the Black, okay? And Fruits of the Earth. Oh my God, I missed this part. At one point, he was so engrossed in reading that the photographers had to beg to get his attention back. This is nasty. Oh, it is his official portrait. There's a tweet, portrait officiel. Okay, but what really mattered was the immediate questions this would prompt. Was he referring to the famously enigmatic opening lines of war memoirs? All my life, I've had a certain idea of France. But then, what idea of France exactly?
And then this next line.
And when was this article from? What article did we just stumble upon? All my life I've had a certain idea of France. But then what idea of France exactly? And what exactly was being alluded to in this choice of the red and the black? A story of social mobility and a love affair between an ambitious young man and an older married woman? And Candace Owens did not write this. 2017. Kind of makes him look good. Yeah, wow, yuck. And, oh, it makes me feel sick. And could the reference to Gide have had something to do with the author's ode to youth and energy? This is why literature gets fetishized in this way. What? What is why? You skip the part where's the this? This, I learned in English class, has to refer to something. They have to try to figure out what he means, what network of symbols he's reactivating, and for what purpose. His appearances at Versailles and the Louvre showed that the symbols, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but that's my houses. They just keeping them clean for me over there. His appearances at Versailles and the Louvre showed that the symbols are so numerous and varied that they might be little less than an invitation to frantically interpret an ever-elusive presidential psyche. Well, people went ahead and said, bet, I'm going to do just that. And they did that. You gave him an idea, buddy. This is politically astute. What? A political astupid, maybe, a stupido. Ugh. As the amount of time given over in public debate to making sense of the Macronian smorgasbord of symbols. What? The Macronian smorgasbord of symbols and cultural references, including that taken up by this article, is time away also from the unprecedented neoliberal rewriting of the labor code. Get your little political kick in there. What better dream indeed for a literary statesman than to preside over a nation of semiologists? Okay, look, listen, that makes it sound so good and nice, right? Like, what did he say about Gide specifically? The last sentence of the second paragraph. And could the reference to Gide have had something to do with the author's ode to youth and energy?
Boom.
Let's take a walk, shall we? A little digital walk together, a meander, if you will, over to the Wikipedia page for the book. Okay, this is not Candace Owens. This is not for. So this is like mainstream enough, right? I mean, Wikipedia you should take with a grain of salt. But I'm reading Wikipedia. We're not even on Reddit. Fruits of the Earth is a prose poem by André Gide, published in France, 1897. Now, Gide, he admits, this is an important part, because you can actually follow these guys, teachers and influences down and see who's their students and see these ideas perpetuate. He admitted to the intellectual influence of Nietzsche, this German writer, philosopher guy. Thus spoke Zarathustra. I didn't bother looking into that book. I bet you it's depraved if I looked. I don't know. But they say the true genesis of this book that was in one of the 3 books in the presidential portrait, the true genesis was the author's own journey from the deforming influence of his puritanical religious upbringing to liberation. Liberation how, you might be wondering. Yeah, well, I'll finish the Wikipedia sentence. It says, liberation in the arms of North African boys. Yeah. Now, this is the one where Candace said this is a self-admitted Okay, so I guess so. I mean, he found his liberation. This is I'm quoting in Wikipedia. In the arms of these boys. There's similarities between his work and this Nietzsche guy. I mean, he's kind of a big deal in these circles. Nathaniel, the name of the boy in the book, then this is semi-autobiographical. I mean, that means it's based on something real, supposedly, that happened. The man grew up religious, puritanical. He goes and has a little vacation in the northern coast of Africa, has relations with a child, and in the book his name's Nathaniel. Why? Comes from the Hebrew name Nathanael, meaning God has given. That's right, El is God. God has given. God has given him this boy to liberate him. Okay, why is this book in the background of the president of France portrait? And I have a better question even than that, or actually, I don't know, that might be the best question, but I have a follow-up question. What in the hell is this author doing saying, could the reference to Gide, could have something to do with the author's ode to youth and energy? What the hell? Ode to youth and energy? Whoa, hold on, stop. Before you say a word about Candace Owens, before you say a word about what's in, this is that, and Obic this, and Obia that, stop. What in the hell is this book doing on this desk? You have the video right here. The man is setting it up. Not only is the man setting it up, everybody's acting like this is cute.
A picture is worth 1,000 words and 1,000 articles to tear it apart. A lot of people saying it looked a lot like an advertisement for a luxury suit.
Well, it's not too bad if I may say so.
It's a pretty good photo, I think.
It's nice.
What? The communication team was quick to let everyone know that the open book was De Gaulle's war memoirs. Fine, okay, whatever. The other two were Stendhal's The Red and the Black and Guide's Fruits of the Earth. Fruits of the Earth is about this man finding his liberation with a young boy in a way that I'm not even permitted to speak of. Truly, literally unspeakable acts. And the man is president, and they're arfing like a seal, calling that an ode to youth and energy. Surely we all agree that's a no. Macron's use of it portrays him as a reader and turns journalists, commentators, and citizens into readers of his readings. He freaking knew people were going to read that sick shit. Sick. That's nasty. Forget about every other allegation. The communication team was quick. That's a quote. To let everyone know that the open book was this and the other two were this and Fruits of Earth. Now, I want to circle back to the Wikipedia page, if you could stomach it. The second sentence of this first just bio paragraph at the very beginning, he admitted, this man, Guide, right, the one that got his book in the president portrait, he admitted, the pederast admitted, he had intellectual influence from Nietzsche. But who influenced Nietzsche? You might be wondering, or maybe you weren't, but I'm about to tell you. Let's see. The time has come, everybody, to talk finally about Marquis de Sade. Okay, we gotta talk about him. Who is he? Well, he's the person that we get the word sadism from. A man so deplorable, so disgusting, so dare I say evil, degenerate, grotesque. He was jailed many times. They named sadism after the man. And guess what? He was one of these inbred nobles. Yes, he was. I mean, I call him inbred because it's the same like, 16 or whatever, 22, however many it is. You gotta be noble. Keeps having kids with each other. And I think it slings some of them off like this one. This man was born in France. His full name is what? Donatien Alphonse Francois de Sade. Sometimes I call him Sade just because like Sade starts to feel tiresome. But this man is known and credited with being, look at the last paragraph. I ain't reading all of it. The last paragraph in the first section. Interest in this man's work increased in the 20th century. Various authors considering him a precursor to Nietzsche. Freud, you've heard of him, right? Sigmund Freud. Surrealism and totalitarianism. A precursor to totalitarianism and anarchism. Both. Backlashes to shocking behavior. Both totalitarianism and anarchy have something in common. It's a response to utter and total chaos. No rules are working anyway, so we gotta put everybody in a camp. No rules are working anyway, so everybody do as you must. This guy, de Sade, the guy they named sadism after, the guy who inspired Nietzsche, who then went on to inspire the likes of Guide, the pederast, who found his liberation up on the northern coast of Africa with little boys, or a little boy. And it's sick. I'm sparing y'all a lot of details. You're welcome. But this guy, a grandfather to all of it, a French writer, libertine, political activist, and nobleman best known for his libertine novels. You see how that sounds like such a sweet word? Libertine. It almost sounds like you might be like for liberty or like freedom or something. These people were sick. They keep calling stuff different names, okay? These people were the worst of the worst. They named sadism after this guy. They didn't even have a freaking name for what it was, whatever this freak had. He's the inspirer of all these people that's inspiring all these people, and now the president's got the books on their portraits, and all y'all are worrying about... Let me stop. He's best known for these libertine novels and also for being imprisoned for crimes, blasphemy, and pornography. His works include novels, short stories, plays, dialogues, and political tracts. Some of these were published under his own name. Most appeared anonymously. He was born into a noble family. He was in the war. He was alive during the French Revolution. He actually was writing this, one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard of during it. And he was locked away in an asylum. He got special treatment because he was, a noble or whatever. Born into a noble family dating from the 13th century. So like noble for a real long time. This guy, Sade, served as an officer in the 7 Years' War before a series of sex scandals led to his detention in various prisons and insane asylums for most of his adult life. During his first extended imprisonment from 1777, Happy Birthday America, where we went to get away from these freaks. That's why you are never going to catch me arfing like a damn seal over any royal getting married to nobody or nothing. I don't freaking care. My people ran away from these degenerate freaks because we don't fucking want to be bothered with their bullshit, okay? We're sick of it. During his first extended imprisonment, From 1777 to 1790, he wrote a series of novels and other works, some of which his wife smuggled out of prison. On his release during the French Revolution, people were revolting against this type of stuff. He pursued a literary career and became politically active, first as a constitutional monarchist. Yeah, he wanted the freaking monarchy in charge still. This all ties right in with Cornberry too, y'all. We're gonna have to talk about the Hyde saga one day. And then all roads leads to clowns. It's so hard. First as a constitutional monarchist, then a radical Republican. During the Reign of Terror, he was imprisoned again for moderatism and narrowly escaped the guillotine. He was re-arrested in 1801 for his pornographic novels and was eventually incarcerated. Even that is just such a misnomer, y'all. I am literally not even not only allowed, but I can't even bring it upon myself to say it out loud what these novels were about. Let's say it involved poopy, throwing up. It involved, oh my God, it's just so nasty. Basically, like, I don't know, depraved freak-off type activities where people end up, no longer living. Like, this is far more than just graphic novels. Even that in and of itself is just like such a misnomer. Eventually, they put him in an insane asylum, and he ended up dying there. His major works include, oh my God, this one I can't even say the name of it, The 120 Days of Sodom. He has other works, Justine, he has Juliet, and Philosophy in the Bedroom. They combine graphic description of all kinds of things unspeakable, including sometimes with underage children. And it's not like, oh, it's some fantasy, oh, they fell in love even though he was only a kid in a play and she was only the teacher, regardless the gender. No. This is like the kids don't make it out. The word sadism derives from this author's fictional characters who take pleasure in inflicting pain on others. It's truly unspeakable. Okay, the 120 days thing, I'll just read y'all the plot, the setup. Now this one he was writing in the prison while he was being locked up. He was in the Bastille and he was writing this one. And then the revolutionaries broke in the prison and he got let out. Somebody took the book. But a lot of his books, and I got to do a shout out to his son, he had all kind of manuscripts. All wrote up. Who knows what depravity was in it. His son burned them. Shout out to that son. Anyway, so this depraved book he wrote, the 120 Days one, unfinished novel by this sadism, Deshad, written in 1785, published in 1904. Who? Why? Is it a Macron? Are they from Amiens? I need to know. Written in 1785, but published in 1904. After its manuscript was rediscovered, the son didn't get that one because it was took out of the asylum or the Bastille in the raid or whatever. It describes the activities of 4 wealthy libertine Frenchmen, who spend 4 months or 120 days seeking the ultimate sexual gratification through orgies, sealing themselves in an inaccessible castle. Well, this sounds kind of like a, after party after the VMAs or something. Stuff is just going on for so long, but it gets to where it's not, I think. I don't know, girl. I don't know. I've never been in one. These 4 wealthy guys, they sealed themselves off in a castle in the heart of the Black Forest. That's in Germany, right? Yeah. With 12 accomplices, 20 designated victims, and 10 servants. 4 aging S-workers relate stories of their most memorable clients whose practices involved 600 passions, including all kinds of nasty stuff, including Poopygate. And we're back to Poopygate. We talking some of the most nastiest stuff. I can't even say it. It's nasty. These stories inspire the libertines to engage in acts of increasing violence. So the 4 wealthy men in the story, they got accomplices and servants and people in the house with them. And in the story, they're like, oh, tell us all your nastiest stuff you ever did as a S worker in your career. And they're telling and these 4 wealthy men just are overcome with inspiration. It says the stories inspire them to engage in acts of increasing violence, leading to the torture and murder of the victims in the house, most of whom are adolescents and young women. Okay, so this guy was considered to be, according to Wikipedia, I mean, y'all saw me read it. Okay, this guy was considered to be a precursor figure to the likes of Freud and Nietzsche. And Nietzsche ends up being a precursor to the likes of Andre Gide, who writes about going to North Africa and finding liberation in the arms of children. Multiple books of this theme. And somehow, some way, that book, one of them, made its way intentionally, carefully, expensively apparently, onto the very limited real estate background of any presidential portrait of any time in history. And I just thought that was something y'all might want to know. So I just want to close this off by saying, this is the United States of America. I think I made it pretty clear what I think about our rights here and how hard we've had to fight against detestable, grotesque, deplorable behaviors from the same freaking people, literally, this is their grandkids, everybody. It's literally traceable. This Shad guy's a 13th century noble, okay? Please, we have rights here. Hard fought, hard won, hard earned. But like everything else, just like everything else, your rights have to be exercised or else they atrophy. In the United States, I mean, we're not in France, but in the United States, we have a right to go to school, public school, private school, whatever, and not have to worry about is the teacher, the drama teacher, gonna be maybe ending up coming on to you one day. I don't know if that happened or not. I wasn't there, wasn't born. No matter whatever is the gender of Brigitte Macron, born at birth, assigned at birth, whatever the blood test says or doesn't say, is actually frankly immaterial to me. I do not care. But Brigitte Macron was an adult when Emmanuel Macron was a child. Even in France, even in hell, even in the open air prison. Somebody's 14, 15, and somebody else is in their late 30s, and then add on top of that the relationship of teacher-student. That's nasty. It's wrong, and I have the right to say it, and so does Candace. Now, whether someone broke a law or something, I don't know. I'm not an expert of French law, okay? But it's nasty. It's grotesque. And all of this seeming like media, romanticization of it, it's nasty. And clearly, it's obvious as day and night and anything. They don't have a good relationship. Don't y'all remember whenever Brigitte was smashing and smushing them in the face? I don't know anybody smashes and smushes people in the face like that doesn't have a bad relationship. Y'all know anybody with a good relationship getting smashed in? Hello? Where was I? We have rights. We have rights. We have rights here. We have the right to talk about issues of public concern. This is obviously an issue of public concern, please. We have the right to ask questions and form opinions. We actually have also the right to believe stuff that doesn't actually turn out to be factually true, as long as you're saying stuff like, I believe, I think. So yeah, I mean, I guess the Macrons are about to have to learn how it works over here. And I just want to say, you know, from what I have seen, I've seen a lot of people making a lot of statements about Candace Owens, and she said this, and she's that, and she's this type of this and that. And without a doubt, there's been moments of Candace Owens's statements publicly that I didn't agree with. There's certain stances she takes I don't agree with. But with this Brigitte Macron thing, I mean, Candace has shown all of the reasons why she believes what she believes. And we do have the right in this country to say things that we believe. I mean, I think everybody knows that Candace didn't do a blood test. I think everybody knows that Candace didn't do, any type of biological checks on Brigitte. I think everybody knows she doesn't have some information that she's not privy to. I don't really see that what she's done that's so wrong insofar as qualifying her for defamation. Every American has the right to speak about their opinions. This is an issue of public concern. And maybe y'all, maybe y'all are like me. And it really probably actually doesn't matter, what private parts is in, anybody's pants at all, actually. But if you are actually anything like me, I would pray we could all find some common ground that the Andre Gide book in the back is absolutely not an ode to youth and energy. Can we all agree? Or no, we too far gone, we can't even agree on such things anymore because of somebody who voted for somebody who thinks something about something. Please, can we find one thing to agree on? That romanticizing Please, I'm begging. I am begging. In any event, I just thought that was something y'all might like to know. Opinions ain't defamation, girl. Love you, mean it, okay, bye.